Hello, I am Wraith Pocketwatch, and you are here to watch Pocket Gaming. Yes, I named my gaming channel for a terrible pun. They say start as you mean to go on. Right, take two. This is my fourth round match in the first season against Totally Skaven. Now, initial point I just want to make about this team. No rerolls. I think I already highlighted this. In fact, I know that I already highlighted this in my very first Blood Bowl video of my match against the Destroyers of Worlds. No rerolls. It is a bad idea. You want your rerolls. As I recall, of course, since this is a replay, we can never see anything that was in the in-game chat. But as I recall, at some point he had a problem where he failed some roll or other, and I said, "Well, you're the one who started your team without rerolls," and he said, "Well, I've had to spend money on replacing dead players." It's just, well, yeah, but you could have started with rerolls. That's the thing. Weird formation that is set up here. I don't really get it. Quick snap. And yeah, whatever. And my usual thing of, if you wanted these players in those places, why did you put them there in the first place? I don't understand. That one is reasonable. I mean, I'm not sure if I would do those. Putting people... Like, it is a potential advantage in a quick snap that you can... If your opponent has players only one square away from the front line, you can move players forward to be able to block them. But in this case, they're vampires. They're strength 4, so I'm not sure if I would want to go for it. On the other hand, admittedly, Storm Vermin block, so not so unreasonable. And a pretty good start for me. This is where you get bitten by your lack of rerolls. Now, it's not possible for... Well, okay. It's theoretically possible for me to get the ball, but I would have to dodge Gap Academy up like that and make 2 going for it. So basically, that's not going to happen. I suppose I could blitz there to get him out of the way and then dodge, and then it would still be 2 going for it. But I can move forwards a bit. That's a point 2. Stephen North does not have kick yet. Later he gets kick, and of course when you have the kick skill you can kick much more accurately, and against the Skaven team I would quite often choose to kick fairly close in the hope of being able to just beat up some rats and pick up the ball early on. Now, I had a match in, I think it was the Nagaroth Open, one of the big open leagues that anyone can just put their teams into. Anyway, I had a game against a Skaven team who had a formation kind of similar to this, actually. Only I think it was when they were kicking. And I thought, oh, well, but that means I can just kind of surround them. But then because they're Skaven, some of them could just get past being like they weren't 100% surrounded, so that they could get round and past and use their movement to just go everywhere, and suddenly I was sort of stuck. So with that in mind, I was trying to be quite careful about all this. And there are potential problems. I've opened up this side of the pitch. But I have tried to make it more difficult for him to get at the ball here, obviously. So I am marking that guy again with journeyman. What? Dodge there. I failed. Okay. And yeah, it's not great, but I wanted to, given how poorly his first turn went, I wanted to be able to do something. Okay, I didn't. Obviously, at the time, I would have known that that guy was there. But on the replay, I didn't notice. Now, this is... That would not have been my choice of person to pass to. I would have been more inclined to pass to that guy, who has catch as well, and a fairly clear line up this side of the pitch, and then you just need to cover Sir Jasper pretty much. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be perfect, but like, if you want to get the ball up the pitch quickly, he would be my choice. Because, like I said, I kind of left this a bit open. I suppose, yeah, marking people is potentially useful. I can't remember if he moves up quickly. I think he quite possibly does. Of course, an alternative would be to get the Rat Ogre to hit Richard Dauntless here. Push him that way. Yeah, see that? You're just making problems for yourself going that way. It would have been easier this way. Or, as I was just saying, if you push Richard Dauntless there and there, because the Rat Ogre has Frenzy, then you have a Rat Ogre marking these two guys, and you could sort of run up the middle and mark here. As it is, in theory, I should be able to recover this ball, and things are looking pretty good for me. In practice, I don't remember if that's what actually happens, but in theory. Now, okay, yes. Knocked a guy down. Basically, I just need to probably hit this guy and then go pick up the ball. Okay, I might... Like, thinking about it now, it seems like it might have been a better option to hit that guy first, and then Gaffer Gadaby would have been able to run over towards the ball once he stood up. But on the other hand, I suppose I thought there were obviously risks involved in the hitting of the dudes, and so maybe I just wanted to have everyone standing. But yeah, now I can just retrieve the ball, and that should be the next thing I do. I don't know why it requires this much thought on my part. Yeah, I mean, the question of where to go after picking up the ball. Oh, okay, but suppose getting someone in to be a scoring threat right away. He's a scoring threat, isn't he? He'd need one going for it. Okay. I might be considering passing it to him? Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's not exactly the safest option. I mean, yeah, he's a vampire, strength 4, but he can be blitzed pretty easily there. I could have put the ball somewhere a bit more safe. I mean, maybe I thought that pretty much nowhere would be safe, but I mean, it would take me 2 movement to pick it up, then 3, 4, 5, 6 would put him there. They're not particularly accessible. And you're also a vampire. But, okay. So this, I mean... Okay, so I think this thrower is the only Skaven player who can get to Sir Roderick without dodging. So that's something. And he'd need an assist for it to be 1 dice even. So, as this has turned out, it's okay. But I feel like there are just a bunch of ways in which it could have gone horribly wrong for me. And oh, yeah, see, there's that assist. So now it will be 1 dice. Oh, yeah, he could probably make it too. No, he could have gotten another gutter runner around, and yeah. Regeneration did not work. Yeah, so that was just kind of an unnecessary risk on my part. I could have put Sir Roderick there, or maybe 1 square further, and then kept the ball safe, and then I would have been threatening to pass it to him and score next turn, but it wouldn't have been so easy for the Skaven to just knock the ball loose. So I don't get why I did that. I mean, particularly given, like, at this point, I think, yeah, I just lost my last 2 matches. Did I? Yeah, I think I just lost my last 2 matches. And so, I wouldn't think it would be that I was feeling cocky. I don't know, that just looks like a moment of insanity to me as I look at it now. So Conrad does have block already. So, and he is in blitzing range. I think that is the thing I might want to do. Swarming the ball with vampires is decent idea in general. Oh, right, yeah, that was attempted hypnosis. Yeah, it should be noted that this guy is in scoring range. Yeah, I could have done that with Sir Conrad, who has block, and therefore I would have been able to knock him over with the both down. And then Sir Jasper could instead have gone for the ball. So it might have required going around like that. Okay, this worked. But I mean, this is complications which I feel I probably shouldn't have had to get into. Returning again to the point, I could have put the ball elsewhere, and then had Sir Roderick here ready to score instead of just passing it straight over. Given that I'd done that, then this was kind of the right thing, I think. But though I could definitely have gotten Sir Conrad involved, since he's better at hitting people. I think this was also the match wherein I think it was Chart, or however you say his name, who said that Sir Conrad was scary. And he's not particularly scary at this point. He just has block and strength 4, and I suppose movement 6 also a factor. High strength and average speed is a rare combination. But yeah, it's just block is a good skill. And again, screwed by lack of rerolls. Now, I could get screwed here by Bloodlust, potentially. But I could just score here. I would hope that I do just score here, but it looks like I might not. Oh yeah, I want to hit things. Given that Sir Conrad has block, I suppose I want to take advantage of it and try to beat up the rats. Oh, yeah. I did that just in case Bloodlust screwed me over. Despite the fact that that was more risky than the Bloodlust. A bit of sort of wrong thinking on my part, I would say. I've suffered 2 casualties already, so that is less good for me. Yeah, let me see, it was... Yeah, okay, I rolled a 1 dodging Matthew Baker away, so that would also have failed the Bloodlust, but I could have used the reroll then on the Bloodlust and succeeded, unless I rolled another 1. Whereas with this, if I rolled a 2, then it would still have been a failure and a turnover. Whereas if I rolled a second 1 on the Bloodlust, then I wouldn't have been able to score, but it wouldn't have been a turnover, and I could have done something else. So that would have made more sense if I'd just gone straight for the touchdown and re-rolled the Bloodlust, and as we see, I would have succeeded on the re-roll and scored. But I suppose it didn't actually actually make any difference in the end. I got the touchdown regardless. Yeah, that's why I specifically made that blitz first, because I knew I was only going to have 10 players for this ensuing drive, and I was hoping I could get rid of at least one of his. However, no such luck. And okay, yeah, I don't understand some of this formation. Like, I don't get these thrower positions specifically. That's the big thing that I find weird. Perfect defense, much better for me. I also think he's leaving certain areas completely unmarked, which could lead to problems for him potentially. Like if we'd rolled a blitz on the kickoff table, I'd be able to run straight in here. And I mean, what if the ball was like here? I could just catch it. No difficulty whatever. I mean, okay, if there was a blitz and the ball was landing here, I could probably get someone in to catch it regardless, but it would require some dice rolls on my part if he actually put some players over here. And yes, with the perfect defense, of course, I move everyone away from the rat ogre, because I'm hoping that the rat ogre will now fail to do things. You know, obviously, wild animal means he's more reliable if you're trying to get him to hit things. But then, now that no one is in face-to-face contact with him, that would have to be the blitz. And given that there is a 1 in 6 chance of him not being able to do it, not sure if you want to risk your one available blitz for the turn on that. Sometimes you do it, but it's always something to be kind of wary of. And yeah, see, the ball did in fact land there, and then bounced to there. So, if we had rolled a blitz on the kickoff table, I could have just run in and potentially caught it. And now, this is amazing for me, in theory at least. Because also, of course, the perfect defense allowed me to put a vampire on this gutter runner. Okay, now I've equalized the numbers. We each have 10 players on the pitch. This is going well for me. I can use my blitz to move this gutter runner, and then I should be able to pick up the ball. And for the second time, I will have the ball having kicked to him, and it's still the first half. This is just really good. I don't remember it being this good. But apparently it was. Yeah, pushes are enough. They take the tackle zone off the ball, making it easier to pick up. There we go. And now I just need to put it somewhere moderately safe. Yep. Makes sense. The only person who can easily get in to blitz him is this gutter runner, particularly if I bring someone over here. Yeah, there we go. I may have difficulty advancing, because he can easily get his team to form a line of sorts in front of this semi-cage. But I was going to say the ball is in my court. It's kind of not, because A, that's obviously referencing the wrong sport, and B, it's, well, like the closest sort of thing would be like whose half it's in, and it's in his half, and that's one of the reasons why it's good for me. I suppose that would be misusing the term anyway. Technically, the ball is in his court, so that makes more sense. The ball is in his court. He has to do something, because as it stands, I am winning here. Like there is a chance that I could be 2-0 up by the end of the first half, in which I kicked to him. So, yeah, okay. He is doing the right thing here. That he can get in at me, but he's now using his blitz on it. He could have blocked with that thrower and then had the blitz available to hit the ball carrier. On the other hand, yeah, this is potentially problematic for me. It does somewhat depend on everything else he does, though, because, well, I'm just thinking, in theory, I could get out and pass the ball over to here, maybe? You know, just as a thought. He's leaving it fairly open for me to do that. The pass would be a bit of a risk, but I mean, even with Skaven movement, their movement 7 in general. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Without going for it, this one can get to this line, and the others are that he's like the closest of, you know, not a gutterire, and now he's further away and will require more difficult dodges. So, as my names vanish, yeah, I definitely feel like that's sort of the way I should go here. I think I'm screwing up here. Triple push. Great. Yeah, because I brought him closer, where, like, he could have been a pretty good ball receiver. He still can be, actually, because I can sort of form up around him here pretty well, but I don't know. I'm clearly not forming up around him here, though. So, yeah, like, retrospect, I mean, requires dodging away from a rat ogre, of course, which is more difficult because of the prehensile tail, but it worked. I just hit that first piece of movement just to see, is the dodge going to work, and then I'll figure out the rest of the movement. And of course, having hypnotized this guy, yeah, I can run through to there. I mean, I suppose, yeah, like, with no rerolls, that hypothetical pass would have been pretty risky, but it would have been really good if it worked. And if not, the ball would probably have landed in at least one of my tackle zones, and thus been fairly safe, because it would have been too far away from most of his players. So, I'm somewhat inclined to think that maybe I should have done that. Though this is working out fairly well for me as well. Not entirely sure about following up there. It leaves the ball carrier a bit more open. Though it's obviously difficult to get to him and strength advantage. Still though. Oh, yes, of course, a very significant point to note. It is his turn 7. Of course, there are 8 turns in the half. So, if he does not get someone into scoring range this turn, then he cannot score in this half. Always worth bearing in mind. I mean, in his position, I might well just run this guy up to somewhere around here, just so I would have someone in scoring range. Okay. I mean, that is actually someone in scoring range, because Gutter Runner's crazy movement. I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to figure out in terms of this blitz. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're going for it. He's actually... Yeah, see, if I hadn't followed up that block, I would have had a Thrall standing there, and he would not have been able to make that blitz with the Rat Ogre. Probably. I suppose he could have gone round like that and still done it, but... Regardless. Okay, so... Yeah... I should be able to get out of this. But it is somewhat problematic. And of course, in the following turn, my priority really has to be covering his scoring threats, which are these 2 Gutter Runners. And then the sort of secondary priority is then seeing if I can set up a potential scoring threat for myself. I mean, figuring out that sort of secondary, that potential scoring threat for me is fairly simple. These 2 guys here, they're probably not going to influence this that much. Actually, they could. So, I don't know. But yes, this is the most important thing. Hit the blitz button to blitz from a standing start this guy. And I guess I wanted to sort out some other things first. Oh, I forgot to hit the blitz button again. Damn it! Yeah, that was supposed to be blitz, and then dodge out and run up to somewhere else. Maybe here. And of course, by blitzing, I remove the need to dodge away from the Rat Ogre because you can just follow up. And that works differently. As it is, now I'm stuck next to this guy, it's still not easy for him to get the ball. Of course, since I didn't use my blitz there, now I'm going to use it here. Yeah, not this guy. Over. And I'm either going to run up the pitch to be a scoring threat, or down to here to, yeah, cover these gutter runners a bit. And Richard Dauntless will be my scoring threat. Difficult to see how... Okay, yeah. He can stand up, and he can stand up, and I think that may be it. Unless I want to do something weird. Which... Actually, having hypnotized that one... Yeah, I rolled a 6, which... I didn't actually... I needed a 5. But yeah, now he could dodge around to there. Okay, yeah. Wanted to maybe cover the ball a bit better, I suppose. Yeah. Regardless, I've done a decent job here of protecting against the sort of scoring threats. I could possibly have done better, but it's passable. Although, yeah, I possibly shouldn't have tried that dodge away, because it meant there was only one tackle zone on the Rat Ogre, so by hitting Gaffer Gadaby, he was then able to blitz the ball carrier with Rat Ogre. This isn't unsalvageable for me, though. He is highly unlikely to pick up that ball, whereas I quite possibly can. And then I can try to throw a pass. Yeah. See, both down. So... pretty sure what I want to do here is preferably get some Conrad round to blitz that guy, then dodge, pick up the ball, and something involving throwing the pass. Okay, no, I hit the gutter runner. I suppose probably a pessimism on my part. I probably thought it wasn't that likely I was going to score, so I'd go for the block that was more likely to work. Oh, of course I can just... yeah, I can just blitz with my journeyman here and get double both down, thus ending my hopes of scoring another touchdown. But I knocked him out. That could be good. Still, I end the first half 1-0 up, and now I'm receiving. So, this should be good for me, in theory. Yeah, he's still without one of his throwers there. Is he now down to 10 players? 5, 6, 7, 9. Is he now down to 9 players? Yeah, he had no reserves. He's now down to 9 players. So yeah, I'm 1-0 up and have a 1-player advantage, I think. So at least Skaven have 9 players on the pitch. It's always interesting when people put basically more than the minimum 3 players on the front line. Because, obviously the thing is, it gives your opponent an opportunity to get more blocks in. But on the other hand, they don't necessarily want to. See, I don't really want to contend with that Rat Ogre. And the Storm Vermin are either end of the line and they have block, which means hitting them is less reliable for me. Well, I suppose no. Hitting anyone is less reliable for me, but it's better for him if I hit them. On the other hand, it would be extra blocks. It looks like I may be not going for them, but I certainly could. I mean, like, I could put vampires in these two places. It would help if I still had all 4 vampires. I could put vampires here and here and use them to hit those guys, and then assuming they didn't bloodlust or knock themselves over, they would then be assists for thralls to hit the Storm Vermin. So that would be 4 2-dice blocks for me, and I still wouldn't have to go near the Rat Ogre. This is the kind of thing which I think, like, I would definitely do with the team as it is now. Recording this, but at the time, I wasn't thinking as carefully about all of it, and my team was less good, less well leveled. But here we go. This looks pretty good for me. I should be able to pick up the ball and have it decently placed, and I can have a scoring threat this turn, which, like, sometimes to be more reliable you might want to consider scoring slower, so as to not give your opponent the chance to score back on you. This, however, this is different. I am already 1-0 up, so if I score, like, as fast as I possibly can, then I will be 2-0 up. It doesn't matter how many turns he has to score, because when he scores, it will only put the score to 2-1. I will still be winning, and then he will have to kick the ball back to me. His chances of beating me hinge on him being able to take the ball away from me at that point, which shouldn't be particularly likely, given that my team is generally stronger than his. I should have hypnotised that gutter runner. My team is generally stronger than his, and, well, I had more players on the pitch. Now one of them is dead. I possibly should have put at least one more player around the ball carrier. He's a bit exposed now, and I'm not in any sort of scoring threat position. So, yeah, that would be a couple of big mistakes on my part. Like, massive mistakes. I don't remember doing anything this stupid in my other matches that I've already recorded videos of. This was definitely me playing, right? I didn't sub in someone else. I know that I didn't, but it... So this would be where things go wrong for me. Because now I'm pretty sure he's gonna score next turn. It's theoretically possible for me to stop him. But theoretically. It's not likely. That makes it less likely. So all in all, not a good way to start the second half. I should point out, in theory, I should still be okay at this point, because it shouldn't matter. He will score, and then we'll be at 1-1, and then he'll have to kick to me again because he just scored, giving me the chance to score again and go up 2-1, and thus win the match. Yeah. So here, basically the one thing I should do immediately is not that. Oh right, I want to try and hypnotise him so that I don't have to dodge. I guess that kind of makes sense. Stand him up may as well, but the one thing that I have to do before taking any more risks is... Why haven't I done it yet? I guess that makes sense. But it really doesn't matter if this doesn't work. Right, scoring threat, yeah. Kind of makes sense. Yes. This is the thing that I really have to do. And I did get a defender down, so he is down. He's stuck on the sidelines, he's stunned. Now, Richard Dauntless is kind of in the wrong place, because Stephen North will have to go around him to get to the ball. 2, 4, 5, 6, yeah. If he wasn't there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fail the dodge. I didn't really expect to make it. That was just to, I figured I might as well try. Because, I mean, if I hadn't, this lineman could have just hit him, getting him out of the way, and then again the Rat Ogre would be freed up to blitz all at him, as he's probably going to. Okay, maybe not. I mean, this is a reason for Richard Dauntless being here, because it's forcing the Rat Ogre to dodge, but he could have just moved this gutter runner out of the way. And he wants him to pick up the ball. It kind of makes sense. Sometimes the camera moving controls are really responsive, and sometimes they're like too responsive, and sometimes they're really not responsive. It's quite frustrating. He scores. As I said, I should be able to put it to 2-1 and everything will be fine. His guy has woken up, meaning he now has 10 players to field to my 9. So that's unfortunate. I really don't get the formation. It feels like I'm sure this is not the case, but it feels like he's just sort of placing players at random, or you're making pretty patterns. To be fair, I do like to sometimes pick my formations to make pretty patterns, but still. What is with these things on the pitch? That looks weird. I think you wouldn't want little raised bits on the pitch like that. They'd just get in the way. I mean, I get that it's a dwarven pitch, and so you want this sort of stone and metal theme, but people would trip over them. It's hard enough to play Blood Bowl as it is. Why would you want trip hazards? Okay. Not sure why I have 2 thralls by S1M4 in here. Regardless, okay. I kick, I catch the kick. That's nice. Now... yeah, I just can't get those injuries for some reason. But this should be good. I can move these guys up to here and run some Merlin up. Potentially open the line through there, but okay, yeah, so let's move all that and across like 1, I think. That potentially opens things up more. Okay, yeah, that might work, maybe? Obviously I want to do something with these 2. Yeah. Now, this is passable. I remember this bit of formation, I think. Unless I do it again at some point. It's possible that I repeat this. But, as I recall, this doesn't work out so well. It looks decent. It does stop them getting through to the ball. But it's not necessarily so great for the thralls actually standing in this line, because they just get swarmed by rats. And at this point, I'm not really sure what my sort of plan should be. Yeah, so yeah, he's messing me up at this end, which is where my potential scoring threats were. I only have 2 vampires left on the pitch, and 6 thralls. So, how exactly am I going to score? I don't know. Yeah, and like I said, the line gets swarmed with rats. And, well, it's another thing like with the putting more players on the line of scrimmage for a kickoff. Putting a bunch of players in base-to-base contact with this line, in theory, means I get more blocks. I can do more damage to his team. But in practice, it may not be feasible for me to do so in a favourable manner. Sorry, I'm trying to think of puns on the word manor. Manor as in a big fancy house, as well as manor as in you have no manners. Skaven have no manners. Vampires are known for their manners. Although some people consider drinking your guest's blood to be rude. Certainly without their permission. But yeah, I mean, in theory, I can... yeah. That's where it goes wrong. Because in theory, I could get kind of a knock-on effect. If I could just push him away, then he would assist on this one, so I could get 2 dice on him. Then he would assist on this one, so I could get 2 dice on him. And remove 3 of the guys marking the line. And then I would have actually moved the ball carrier, and I could have tried to do something. The idea would probably be to move it somewhere over here, but at least it would be more in the middle of the pitch, giving me more options for which way to go, but probably I would get swarmed and be unable to get past all the rats. Because, I mean, that's obviously the thing. Like, against some teams, a quick change of direction can be great. You know, like, say, a really slow team, like, well, dwarfs. Classic example of a really slow team. Against dwarfs, if I got into a situation, well, not quite like this. I couldn't really get completely round this. But say if the ball was sort of here, or... yeah, actually, say if the ball was here and he had guys here, then just going over here could be really effective because his guys are slow and can't necessarily catch up. Against Skaven, his guys are much faster than I am. You know, across the board, they are much faster than I am. Okay, not much faster, but they are faster than I am. And so change of direction is generally not going to work because he can change direction faster than I can, and he doesn't have to get as far, because I want to be moving forward as well as across. He doesn't have to care about that. Because now I am totally screwed. Yeah, basically. There is very little my guys can do here. Okay. That's actually somewhat impressive. I got another casualty. Huzzah! And he caught the ball. This is the best things could have possibly gone for me with that blitz. Hypnotise that one. Eat this one. Badly hurting him. I am fast running out of players, but at this point it's theoretically possible things could work for me. Because he can dodge away and... yeah, okay. That is the point where things go wrong. It probably wouldn't have worked out regardless, because 3, 4, 5, 6, he would have gotten to there. And that's still... like, it's... I think the Rat Ogre would need 2 going for it to blitz him, but it's still well within range of this guy, this guy, this guy. But, you know, I could have dared to hope. As opposed to this, which is just him scoring. That was just Nuffle being mean to me, dangling the prospect of salvaging, if not a victory, then a draw. Dangling that prospect in front of me and then taking it away. Truly, the great god Nuffle giveth with one dice roll, and taketh away with the other, or something like that. He's given me this thrower to hit. That's nice. I have 6 players on the pitch against 9. So it's not particularly likely that I'm going to score. Because it's not like I have much of a passing game, which would be my best chance under these sorts of circumstances. Also, the fact that my players kind of have to go around together because of the whole bloodlust issue. Brilliant coaching gives him a reroll. Shame, I could have done with one. And bloodlust straight away. Don't you just love it? I can't remember if this is a point I've made before in these videos, but basically, like, one tends to feel, although there is a lot of dice rolling in Blood Bowl, it is definitely a game of skill for the most part. Luck can swing a game, particularly a game that's otherwise quite close, but in general it won't. In general, skill will be the deciding factor, because you have to be careful figuring out your positioning to force your opponent to make more dice rolls and more unfavourable dice rolls than you, and managing your re-rolls and so on, building a team with the right skills for playstyle and whatnot. But if there is a set of rolls which really can screw you over, it is armor and injury. Because, I mean, in general, you might think, well, if you have bad luck at one point in the match, then, statistically speaking, you will probably have better luck at another point in the match, and that'll make up for it. I mean, sometimes it can be a case of, the bad luck is at the worst possible times, and the good luck is at the times when it doesn't matter at all. But, in general, it evens out. But, armor and injury. He's giving me some casualties. It's nice. But, yeah, armor and injury, because if you get into a situation like what I just had, 6 players versus 9, and 3 of them have to be on the line of scrimmage, and then even if I hadn't had an unfortunate bloodlust and failed dodge, this was probably not going to work out for me. And at this point, it doesn't matter how lucky I am, really. I mean, yeah, okay, in theory, I could be really lucky and my opponent could be really... actually, no, at this point it is impossible for me to get a player within air into scoring range, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely. So, in theory, if I was really lucky, I could still draw this match. But practically speaking, I'm not. Like, you're pretty much never going to be that lucky. So yeah, it is one of those cases where you can have the bad luck at the times when it matters. Okay, I was trying there. I was trying to get him into scoring range. I could have done it with Richard instead. I wanted to show me some Mervin's star player points. Five. Okay, yeah. Yeah, now he's going to score again next turn. Nothing I can do. There is. It's theoretically possible for me to stop him scoring again, but yeah. So that's the thing with luck versus skill in the game of Blood Bowl. Oh, finally he fails Wild Animal. Yeah. Of course, that's one of the big reasons why vampires are a problematic team, because Bloodlust leads to that many more injury rolls. Obviously, this is to compensate for the fact that vampires are actually really good, but I didn't even try to stop him scoring. I just went. I wanted that extra casualty. I think the reason I didn't dodge him away may have been because I was hoping he would do this and then somehow knock himself over and then not score. Maybe, I don't know. And so a game which looked very promising ends 3-1. For all that I was saying the stuff about bad luck with injuries and so on, really, the luck was even-ish, because Chart had some bad luck early on, and I could have capitalised on it much better, as I pointed out. I could very easily have gotten to 2-0 by the end of the first half. Stephen North gets his second MVP. Wonderful. So yeah, I did some stupid things, and I could have done more intelligent ones and gotten more of a lead before my luck ran out. And if I'd done that, I might well have won this match. But there you go.